AI Adventures Audiobooks presents Sylfana Greenvale, Episode 5. A man in his 30s is busy locking up his front door when we approach him. I look at Sylfana and say, "Sylph, you'd better start the conversation. A charming woman can go a long way sometimes when it comes to gathering information." She smiles and nods, then starts the conversation.
Hello, sir.
The man looks up, startled at the sound of Sylfana's cheerful voice. His eyes widens when he sees her, and a slight blush comes across his face. He takes notice of me, standing next to her, and says,
"Why, hello there. It's not every day we get to see new faces here in Wien. It is a small and secluded village."
He takes a breath of fresh air as he contemplates the nature surrounding the village, and adds serenely,
"But it is peaceful."
She smiles.
I understand. This is a very peaceful place.
The man nods to Sylfana, then asks,
"What can I do for you?"
still smiling agreeably.
We are adventurers trying to gather information on an evil force that is draining the vital energy of this world.
The man looks concerned and almost solemn.
You're talking about the plague. I don't know much about it. As you can see, Wien is not yet affected by its evil influence. We have been spared so far, but for how long? We hear rumors that it is spreading from the north.
Her eyes widen.
The plague? That's interesting. I've never heard of anything like that before. Do you have any information on where it's coming from, or what we can do to stop it?
The man nods gravely and says,
Yes, it is spreading. The plague appeared in the north a year ago or so. Since then, travelers from the north tell frightening tales of the state of the kingdom up there. It seems the land is becoming barren, and monsters are on the rise, restless.
She looks down, visibly worried, then adds,
If you're looking to see for yourself, you must journey north.
The man looks at us both, and a glimmer of hope appears in his eyes.
It's good to see that young adventurers are willing to stand up in front of such an ominous menace. May the winds of destiny be in your favor during your journey.
Sylfana nods.
Thank you for your kind words.
We both say our goodbyes to the kind man, and decides to sit on a bench at the town square. I turn towards Sylfana, proud of her. You did a great job handling that discussion. Thanks to you, we now know that people refer to this evil force as the plague. You also managed to discover that it originates from the north, and that its influence over the land is spreading.
I don't like the thought of this plague consuming everything in its path. We must put an end to it no matter the cost. Our journey may be long and difficult, but we will not falter.
I look to the north, thinking, I don't like it either. We must proceed with caution from now on. She nods.
So, should we head north then?
Yes, we must. It is still early. We can make good progress if we head out now. I say as I point towards the northern end of the village, and the road that stretches into the valley and disappears over distant hills. I wanted to buy some equipment and supplies, perhaps even a map of the area if I could, but there seems to be no store in this small village.
I see. Well, we can always find supplies and equipment on the road. It's just disappointing that we can't get everything we need in one place.
Indeed, this would have been convenient. But as you said, we may find supplies and equipment on the road. We now have a destination, and this village also brought a roof over our heads last night, so I think we already made plenty of progress. All thanks to you, too, I say, looking at her with complicity.
You're giving me too much credit.
I smile as I get up and say, all right, let's venture north. We'll follow the road. It's bound to lead us to another village at some point. Sylfana gets up and follows me.
Yes, let's get moving.
We exit Veen and follow the road to the north. After some uneventful walking, we spot a beautiful waterfall not too far from the road. A rainbow sparkles in the sunlight. Do you want to go check it out, Sylph? I ask her. She looks up at the beautiful waterfall and nods.
Yes, let's go.
I grin and say, all right, let's check it out, as I follow Sylfana towards the waterfall. As we get closer, Sylfana notices a small cave behind the waterfall.
What's in here?
I frown, looking closely at the entrance to the small cave. I don't know. We could check it out if we find a safe path to reach it. We look around and find a way to reach the cave.
I don't think anything dangerous is hiding in this cave, but let's be cautious.
I agree. Remember, if we find ourselves in trouble, we could use a health potion or the scroll of small fireball we found. I say as we make our way behind the waterfall and into the cave. We enter the cave and find an old rusty sword and a strange book lying on the ground. I crouch to take a closer look at the sword. It's been lying in the damp cave for ages and is now covered in rust, useless. That sword is too rusty, we can't use it, I say as she inspects the strange book. What about that book? What is it? I ask her, intrigued. She picks up the book and inspects it.
It's a journal.
A journal? Whose is it and what does it say? I ask, walking in her direction.
It doesn't have any names in it, but this journal is full of useful survival tips for travelers.
I take a look at the journal over her shoulder. This may come in handy. I think you should add it to our inventory. We can take a closer look tonight, see if we can learn something with it. She nods.
All right, let's keep it.
Sylfana is standing next to the mouth of the cave. Sunlight sparkles through the waterfall behind her. I give her a smile and ask, Sylph, now that we explored that cave, what about we try the water?
That sounds like a great idea. Let's go for a swim.
We get out of the cave and stand on the bank of the river next to the waterfall. The water is bound to freshen us up. We'll resume journeying north afterwards. Sylfana nods, eager to jump into the river.
We can also get rid of some sweat and dirt.
Indeed, I say as I remove my boots and armor and take a step into the water. It's quite cold, I say to her, wincing. She giggles.
Maybe we should warm up a bit before jumping in.
I turn towards her, quite surprised. Warm up a bit. How so, Sylph? I ask her.
Do a few exercises?
I nod in understanding. That might be a good idea. Let's do it. We start doing some simple exercises. After a bit, we are warmed up enough. I think that should do the trick. She nods.
Ready to jump in?
Let's go, I say, and we run into the cold water, gasping. Sylfana's wet green hair shines in the sunlight. She's shivering but looks happy and cheerful despite that. Warming up helped, I say, but the water is still cold. I grin at her.
Oh, this is fun. The water might be cold, but it's invigorating. Let's see who can swim the fastest.
I chuckle at her challenge. The first of the waterfall wins, I say, and dive into the water. We start swimming side by side.